Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It is Rahul. I am back for another video. We're going to be continuing doing our pre-rotation videos with the Welder decks, other decks, whatever. We've got 2 weeks-ish left of this format before rotation hits. So I'm going to kind of hold off on these post-rotation decks that you guys want me to do until after rotation actually starts. Just because I want to cover these few decks in this format that won't exist in 2 weeks, actually. Yeah, just going to be really fun to cover these things. The POG Championships is coming up Saturday. If you guys want to play in that, let me know. I will leave a link in the comment description below. Whatever you guys can play in it, enter it. It's going to be huge. But the deck for today is going to be Victini VMAX Umbreon. If you guys were on stream, you saw me dominating on the ladder with it. So let's jump into the deck and show you guys what it's all about. Now, Victini VMAX was one of the few cards when it came out, was a little bit underwhelming, but dominates all the other V Pokemon in the format with max victory. Now, Victini VMAX is still very strong in the upcoming post-rotation format because you do have the energy attachment, you have everything you need kind of to get the ball rolling. But Victini VMAX's max victory knocks out any of the little baby V Pokemon on turn 2. 220 is more than enough to take out anything in the game right now. So it's very crazy, it's very good. But we have Welder right now, which gives you that little bit of an edge. But if we're Weldering, what are we missing? A Gust effect, right? That's where this bad boy comes in. Umbreon VMAX with its Dark Signal ability brings stuff up. It has max darkness to deal with Shadow Rider Calyrex as well. The combination of the two are a very deadly threat because this two-shots pretty much anything, and this cleans up as well. Now for support Pokemon, we have 1 Crobat, 1 Eldegoss, and 2 Dedenne to draw cards, recycle stuff, everything yada yada yada. We have 1 copy of Galarian Zapdos V because the turn just is a problem for us in the early game, mid game, sometimes even the late game. But Thunderous Kick really does come through, and with a lot of times, Fighting Instinct can be activated because there's so many V Pokemon in play. So this Fighting Instinct into a Thunderous Kick could really be a cleanup card towards the end of the game with 1 energy. So it's just a 1 energy cleanup attacker that we can slot in whenever, wherever really. Let's look at the rest of the deck. 2 Evolution Incense, 3 Pokemon Communication, and 4 Quick Ball are our basic search cards. Kind of get everything up we need to go. You can swap around the Calm and the Evo Incense, but I think Communication goes a little bit of a longer way when we're trying to put back some of these very important cards that we can't discard. 1 copy of Ordinary Rod is to recycle some of the energy we might discard early, some of these lines that we might lose in the early game. We need to make sure we have some stuff, like if we have 1 Victini in the deck, 1 prize, and 1 hits the discard early, we need to make sure we get that VMAX back. There's 2 copies of Switch and 2 copies of Air Balloon to keep pivoting. Originally, I had Escape Rope in the deck, but Escape Rope was not doing the exact purpose I needed it to, because some of these guys have bigger retreat costs than I'd like. But the Switch Air Balloon combination is enough to kind of get us out of the active, kind of pivot where we need to be, without retreating and wasting too much energy. We have 3 copies of Giant Hearth, which is just the best stadium in a deck, which is just the best stadium in a Welder deck. We'll be saying goodbye to that card as well, coming up in this upcoming rotation. And then I have Tool Jammer, which is one of my favorite cards in the upcoming expansion, post-rotation, whatever. I really like Tool Jammer. There's a lot of decks that are playing Air Balloon over Switch, which really forces them to make really awkward plays. There's a lot of weird tools like Karate Belt, Telescopic Sight, Cape of Toughness, Metal Goggles. All these really weird tools we can just shut off by putting 1 Tool Jammer on a Victini, and all of a sudden the game gets way easier to play. Really like it. It's a versatile tool scrapper over multiple turns. And Victini and Umbreon don't really need a tool at any given point, so it can go anywhere. We have 3 copies of Boss in tandem with Eldegoss and the Gears to kind of get what we need to get. Gears, 4 Gear is always really stable in Welder because they act as a pseudo-Welder. We have our 4 Welder to kind of accelerate the energy where we need to. 2 copies of Research because we do still need a way to draw cards that isn't Dedenne in potential turns. The great thing about Victini VMAX is max victory only requires 2 energy. So in a lot of situations, if we go first, we can just attach, research, look for other stuff, you know, we have options. And we have 8 Fire and 4 Aurora Energy. Aurora Energy is what our Umbreon VMAX will be using, as well as Galarian Zapdos. So, that being said, let's jump into some gameplay. If you guys want to watch more in-depth gameplay, I was playing it on my stream tonight, and I was absolutely dominating with it. I think I won a 6-game win streak before losing 1-2 bad draws. Then I won an 8-game win streak before losing to a Suicune Ice Rider deck, which is just a general bad matchup based on typing, if that doesn't make sense to you guys. Water does beat fire, so a lot of you guys did say that you guys wanted in the stream, specifically said you guys wanted to see some commentary from me on the gameplay, just to kind of get some more insight. Going first is obviously absolutely broken with this deck. We have a pretty broken opening hand, actually. If I top deck a Fire Energy, there's a... I was thinking about holding the hand, actually, but I don't want to anymore. Melanie, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Water, so it's maybe Urshifu VMAX with Melanie, or it could be Sylveon using Melanie Engine to accelerate the energy. Either way, water energy is not a good indicator of what's about to come to us. As long as our opponent doesn't play Suicune, we should be okay, but if they do play Suicune, That little guy with his Blizzard Rondo, and I don't know what the actual attack is. One of them is Blizzard Rondo. Does a lot of damage and takes us out. So we'll take our free mulligan here. Hearth is absolutely broken here. We're going to keep the hand. Boom, boom. Let's go ahead and Hearth here. I don't know what they're playing, but I don't presume to be playing any Dark-type Pokemon, so we're going to go ahead and just do this. Grab this. I have the balloon in hand, so I don't want to... I'm going to do this way just so if the active gets knocked out, I have a backup, yada yada, etc, etc. Because if they do get a Suicune up and running this turn and the active gets knocked out, I could be in a lot of trouble if I commit all my eggs to that one basket. Yes, we know my hand is just Welder, but this way I can kind of bring up whatever their threat is upcoming. So it is Urshifu playing a Melanie version, which is something that I wanted to try out. Just because Melanie does read that you can attach an energy to a V Pokemon. It doesn't have to be a Water-type V Pokemon or anything like that. It's just a V Pokemon. Now, this is where I actually got punished for the play that I made. We're going to go ahead and Welder to the active, I think. We're going to go ahead and just do this. Do this. We're going to Welder 2 to the active. And this way we have a way to retreat as well if we don't hit another switch or an air balloon or something. Attach to the bench. Gear, thin a little bit. Don't actually want to thin these cards. I don't know why I did that. Let's just go ahead and Quick Ball away our hand. We're going to Dedenne. Now we have Dedenne and Crobat to dig Omega deep in the deck, actually. So we can pretty much just need to find a VMAX here. Double VMAX is actually the most broken combination of cards. We get the switch here. The Victini VMAX in the active slot. We're going to go ahead and Quick Ball away the Aurora Energy. We're going to go ahead and Crobat because we want to see if we can get the Umbreon VMAX. If we get the Umbreon VMAX here, the game does potentially just end on the spot. Yeah, like, I don't know what your opponent can even do. This is the power of Victini VMAX, just simply going first and getting the pieces onto the board. Now we have the Umbreon VMAX. We're able to drag up the Urshifu. We got to Welder this turn as well. So we now have a secondary setup attacker that does 160 and is weak to grass. We have another Umbreon V in play. So even if our opponent drops another Urshifu into play and we can't find the boss's orders, we can simply look for another Umbreon VMAX and bring it up. So our opponent this turn playing the Urshifu deck has to drop at least 2 of the Rapid Strike Urshifu Vs onto the bench, because I feel like if they were a Sylveon variant, they wouldn't have all these Sobbles and stuff in the deck. So it's almost certainly just a straight Urshifu VMAX style deck with the water energies. And it might still be playing Suicune, so that might be why he has not tapped out of the game yet, because Suicune still does pose a gigantic problem for us. It would one-shot our Victini VMAX this turn if he can get that off. So we don't really want that to happen to us. But we can't really play around that because we had to dig as deep as we did. They would still require a lot of cards to pull that off. It would have to be Melanie, Suicune, Energies, and then a retreating option, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 20. No, he would have the one-shot if he just had a Suicune right here. But then the Suicune would get knocked out because we do have the Welder in hand with the Hearth. Let's double-check our energies. We have 5 fires already in play, 1 Aurora in the discard, so there's a chance that we have 3 fires prized. That would suck. There is a Suicune, but he researched, I believe. And if you're researching, well, that means you're not Melanieing to this guy. It was Blizzard Rondo. We got that correct. We have the Hearth in our hand as well. In a situation like this, we're gonna Hearth. We're gonna go ahead and Hearth away the research, because I don't think that research is ever gonna see the light of day anymore. I don't think. Well, nah, Balloon. We're gonna get rid of Balloon. We're just gonna get these 2 fires out of the deck. Let's double check. We have 2 bosses orders, and we have 1 Evolution Incense, 2 Umbreons, as well as 3 Pokemon Communication, and some other Pokemon, I guess. So we're going to gear first, see if we hit the boss, and we do hit the boss. So we don't even have to do anything else but attach here, boss up the Suicune. He didn't even get an attachment last turn. Max victory, knocks out any of the baby V. Now, if he had a Cape of Toughness here, that's Jammer we discarded on turn 1 does end up hurting us. But Victini, or like the Tool Jammer, is really specifically there for that purpose. And yeah, there it is. That's the game. And if you guys needed any more proof that Victini V, Max, and Umbreon is a very good deck, that's where it is. I gave you guys a game. I gave you guys a deck profile. If you guys won't mind doing something for me, I would appreciate a comment, a like, and a subscription to this channel. And hit that bell so you know when I have more videos coming up. We're going to be doing all these POG-style videos. Saturday, I'll be streaming the POG Championships on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/thefleet. You guys know where to find me. All the socials on the link below. But until I see you guys again tomorrow for our 2 weeks of Evolving Skies content, keep it frosty.